So, what really makes a master teacher in the 21st century? Is it about having super deep expertise in one thing, or is it about being radically adaptable? Well, to figure that out, we're going to take a look at the career of one educator, Dr. Luis Bello, whose journey gives us a pretty amazing blueprint for the future of learning. And really, his own mission statement kind of says it all. This isn't just about repeating what's been done before. He calls himself a scholarly pioneer. So right from the get-go, he sees his job as not just teaching what we already know, but actively pushing the boundaries of education itself. And this whole pioneering spirit, it's built on a massive foundation, over 35 years in the classroom. I mean, just think for a second about the world in 1986 compared to today. A career that spans that entire time isn't just a story about experience. It's a story of constant, relentless adaptation. Okay, so where does a journey like that even begin? Well, for Dr. Bello, it all started with a deep, solid foundation in one single subject: chemistry. But here's a really crucial distinction. Dr. Bello isn't just a chemist who happens to teach. His real passion is something called chemical education. That's the whole academic field that's dedicated to figuring out how we can teach and learn chemistry better. It's a subtle difference, but it's a really powerful one. And this isn't just some theory for him. After getting his start in high schools, he spent most of his career right there in college classrooms and labs, focusing on those core concepts and hands-on skills that really build a scientist from the ground up. But look, having a deep foundation is only the beginning. To really thrive for more than 3 decades, an educator needs something else. They need to be incredibly versatile. Which kind of begs the question for any teacher today, right? Is it better to be a super deep expert in one thing, or to have a really wide range of skills? Dr. Bello's career, well, it makes a pretty powerful case for having that range. And just look at this. This is where the story gets absolutely fascinating. I mean, beyond college chemistry, he's taught high school math, computer science, Spanish, GED prep for adults, and even English as a second language. This is not the resume of a specialist. This is the resume of a pure, multifaceted educator. And we're not talking about a side hobby here. He holds official state teaching certifications in fields as wildly different as chemistry and Spanish. That alone tells you you're dealing with a mind that's not only incredibly knowledgeable, but also just amazingly flexible. So how do you do it? How does an educator stay relevant across so many fields and for so many decades? For Dr. Bello, the answer has always involved technology. It's been the constant bridge connecting the classroom of the past to the one we're heading towards. This timeline basically tells the entire story. All the way back in 1990, he was writing computer manuals for his students. In the 2000s, he was mastering PowerPoint. Then came Google certifications, then pioneering virtual labs for our new hybrid world. And today, he's publishing on AI. See? This is the key. He hasn't just watched technology change. He has jumped in and actively used it at every single step of the way. And wow, nothing shows this evolution more clearly than this. Just compare his first publication from 1986, a classic hands-on physical lab handbook, with his work in 2023, which is all about using artificial intelligence in the classroom. It's the same person, the same educator, spanning 2 completely different technological universes. It's incredible. But this drive to evolve, it goes way beyond just using new tools. It's about contributing new ideas. And that brings us to his work as a lifelong scholar, someone who is always pushing to publish and innovate. If you actually look at his publication record, you see this really cool story. There's a super productive period at the beginning, then a phase where he was focused on international work. But then look at this recent surge. Instead of slowing down as he gets later in his career, his academic output has actually accelerated, and he's tackling the most modern challenges in education. And this scholarship wasn't just happening in his backyard. His work has had a truly global reach. It's been published and presented in places like Cuba, Brazil, Ethiopia, India, all over the world. This is an educator whose ideas have been crossing borders for decades. So where does a career like this end up? Where does it all lead? Well, it leads directly to the front lines of modern education, where he's pioneering the very tools and methods that are going to shape the classrooms of the future. Just check out the acceleration in his recent work. In 2020, he's focused on curriculum. Just 2 years later, in 2022, he's tackling hybrid learning with virtual labs. And by 2023, he's publishing on artificial intelligence. This isn't just keeping up with the times, this is the trajectory of a true innovator. And this brings us full circle, right back to the second half of that mission statement we saw at the beginning. He isn't just a professor, he is actively being that scholarly pioneer, creating the very methodologies that will define the future of teaching. So what's the big takeaway from Dr. Bello's career? Well, it gives us a clear 4-part blueprint for what it takes to be a modern educator. Number 1, build a deep foundation. Number 2, cultivate a broad versatility. 3, relentlessly, and I mean relentlessly, embrace technological change. And finally, number 4, commit to being a lifelong scholar, always learning, always creating, and always sharing. Ultimately, his professional journey is more than just a list of things he's done. It's a model for continuous growth. It proves that the best educators aren't defined by what they knew at the start, but by their absolute commitment to adapt and shape the future of learning. And that leaves us with one final, kind of mind-bending question. If a single teacher can bridge the gap from old-school lab manuals to artificial intelligence all within one career, what on earth is the classroom itself going to look like in another 35 years?